I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Trends on Local 3. I'm Latrice Curry. Coming up on today's show, the country is pausing to celebrate, commemorate the life and the legacy of one of the most influential civil rights leaders of all times, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Urban League is making sure that young people never forget history and continue to work to reshape and impact the future to make it a better place for all people. Plus, the city of Chattanooga is asking citizens to join the movement. Roll up your sleeves for a day of service. Also, One America, love with power, justice without fear. The 56th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Week celebration is wrapping up with the march and parade. And the arts have always been an important part of all communities. Get ready for the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Hope and Community at the Hunter Museum. Trends on Local 3 starts now.
This is Trends on Local 3.
Well, welcome. We begin today's coverage with a focus on youth. There are some exciting opportunities and experiences for local students coming up at the Urban League of Greater Chattanooga's MLK Youth Leadership Symposium. I'm joined by Savannah Baker, a Project Ready student, and Mr. Meyer Rogan, a former student who's now in college. So first of all, thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, all righty. Well, I know you ladies are confident young ladies because you're in this leadership program. And you know, one of the things I want you to start with you, Savannah, and tell me about the purpose as you see it of what this leadership program is like and what the main purpose is.
The purpose of Project Ready in general is to help youth, kids be able to prepare for college, as in like we have ACC boot camps and stuff like that, and they just help us in general like with resumes and letters of recommendation, and they help us become confident and able to advocate for what we want and what we have to do to get it.
They help you to kind of find that voice.
Yes.
All right. Jemiah, hello.
Hi.
Well, how are you doing, Miss Jemiah?
I'm great. How are you?
Good to see you. And by the way, Jemiah, I have to tell people, I've known Jemiah for quite a while and have seen her grow into this beautiful young lady, and Miss Savannah as well as just a strong young lady now. Jemiah, your first semester college down, how was it?
It was amazing. You know, Project Ready really prepared me, you know, for life after high school. You know, we had financial workshops, we had mock interviews, we also had resume building events, and those things really prepared me for college, you know, for gaining scholarships.
And did you feel more confident too? It helped you prepare for college, and then when you got there, did you feel more confident and a little bit stronger as a freshman student?
Yes, I sure did. You know, they really prepared me, you know, for the confidence that I was going to have in college. You know, it's a college and career readiness program, and they certainly, you know, did just that. You know, it instilled within me the confidence to utilize my voice on my college campus in a way that promotes equality and change. So it was amazing.
Jemiah, when you talk about that, what are some of the biggest things that if you would tell a student who's thinking about this program and the Leadership Symposium, of why it's important, and what are some of the biggest things that they will learn?
Yeah, so at this year's Youth Leadership Symposium, students will, you know, learn more about civic engagement. You know, how can they be an active and involved member of their community? They'll also learn more about advocacy and what this means as far as how bills get passed, how certain laws come into effect and come into play. They will also learn about the life and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and how, you know, they can utilize their day off from school and turn it into a day on of service, learning and advocacy.
And one of the things too, as we are seeing, and hopefully we can show more of this, the video of what we're talking about here, but Savannah, you know, when people are thinking about this event, it's on MLK Day. So remind us just a little bit more about how students can get involved and take part in this event.
For this event, you can sign up at the website, which is ulchat.net, and it will happen on Monday, the 19th, from 10 to 1 at the Construction Career Center. At the
Construction Career Center. And you are encouraging, and there it is right there, and so you are encouraging young people to come out to take part in this. And Jemai, you say that you are proof that this program works and helps young people be successful.
Yes, certainly 100%.
What's your major, Jemai? I didn't even ask that. Tell people what your major is.
I'm majoring in biology pre-med at East Tennessee State University.
Okay. All righty. Well, we are so glad to have you here, and you are a great spokesperson, both of you. Savannah, great job. I know you're ready to go off and tackle the world as well. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, there is the information right there on your screen. Well, coming up next, the city of Chattanooga will pay tribute to the enduring legacy of one of the most transformative figures in American history with a community-wide day of service. See how you can take part and roll up your sleeves and get involved. Well, it's a day on, not a day off. Communities across our area will focus on honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through service. Chattanooga is asking citizens to join the movement for their annual day of service. I'm joined now by Vanessa Jackson, the Community Program Manager. Good to see you, Vanessa.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Let's talk about why the city of Chattanooga felt that it was important to really dig into this day and to get involved and to lead this effort for a community-wide day of service.
Well, the city of Chattanooga moved on this vision about 13 years ago to focus on this special day being a day on for service and not just a day for folks to stay off and engage in what they wish to do. There's so many needs within our city, so many great causes, and this gives folks an opportunity to roll up their sleeves on that day and to commemorate the life of Dr. King, but also maybe to just catalyze a movement for change in their communities, in their nonprofit organizations, in their churches that can last all year long. So we're excited about what we do in this project every year.
That's so important. And talk about this, because one of the things I think that is so beautiful from this is just kind of the range of projects that you see, whether it's gardening, whether it's cleaning up debris and trash, whether it's painting something. I mean, just talk about that, just the wide range of service projects you see.
Absolutely, Latrice. You know, we have so many vibrant neighborhood associations in our city, and oftentimes the neighborhood associations use this ML King Day of Service to focus on a community-wide problem or issue that they would like to see abated or corrected. So it's a great way to mobilize neighbors. Then we have our faith-based community that oftentimes use this project to open their doors, to allow people to come into their congregations to do service. Maybe people who have been curious about different faith-based entities within our local footprint, and this gives them an opportunity to come in, to meet friends, to do meaningful work there. Then we have a number of like cemetery projects that need care in our city, and this day is always a great day for volunteers to mobilize to do outside work, attending these cemeteries that have sometimes fallen into neglect, to also remedy maybe parkways and different like open spaces that just need tender loving care. And then of course it gives opportunities for individuals to learn more and engage with the nonprofit community. Our nonprofits need a lot of work and care as well as support. And so it gives opportunity for people to come in and do those types of projects. And then later, to help out, and then maybe even later to give financially or have an ongoing relationship or
because
rapport.
they learned about it through this project. And one of the things too, I think that, Vanessa, that's the beauty of this day too, is that we have learned that it is not just a day for minorities. We know the work, we know the legacy of Dr. King, but we also remember him standing up for sanitation workers.
Absolutely.
Him standing up for the less fortunate of all people. And so I think that is what is so beautiful about this, because you look out and you just see people from all walks of life coming together, which is what we should be doing.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because you know, in Dr. King's teachings and his philosophy, later in his life, he talked a lot about the creation of this beloved community where we meet each other's needs, where we come together to solve community problems and crises. And the fact that there are more things about us that are similar than what is different. And so I think this day really amplifies what was intended by his great work and his legacy. And I'm honored to be a part of it each and every year.
Well, that's wonderful. And like I said, hopefully stamp out like the hate, because everyone is a human being and is our fellow citizen, and everyone deserves to be treated equally and fairly and respectfully. So I think that's one of the things that this legacy shows, that what the city is doing is come out, everyone, and come together.
Absolutely. I do want to mention that our Ground Zero location for the day of service this year will be at our City Hall Midtown location, which is right behind the Family Justice Center in the Eastgate area at 6098 Deborah Road. And for people who may just on the spur of the moment want to get engaged, there may be last minute project opportunities.
And so we have all of that up there, and they can contact you, right?
Absolutely.
Right there. All right. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. Great talking to you as always. Thank you for being here. And we know that it is going to be another wonderful day of service in Chattanooga and all our surrounding communities. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Well, today's civil rights leaders and people across the country say that MLK Day events and marches are annual reminders of the ongoing struggle for racial equality, justice, and unity. What has kept Chattanoogans going strong for over 50 years? Well, the Unity Group is wrapping up their 56th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Week celebration. Eric Atkins from the Unity Group joins me now. And of course, this weekend, things wrap up. So tell us a little bit about this year's theme, how you came up with that.
Well, toward the end of his life, Dr. King gave a speech at Stanford. It was the To America speech. And Dr. King warned us, if we don't deal with the issues of racism and of poverty and some of the social ills, that we were going to be mired in a quagmire of two Americas. And so we can't have a nation where we only bend toward the rich and the affluent and the powerful. We have to worry about the poor, the needy, those at the bottom of the social rung ladder. Dr. King was always mindful of these things when he was standing with the sanitation workers, when he was implementing the Poor People's Campaign upon his death.
And so one of the things too is that, you know, this march, this is the 56th year for this march. And so you talked about that and the need for this. What has kept this going strong in this community as we look at shots over the years of the march and the parade that's taking place here in Chattanooga?
Well, you know, the first march, oddly enough, got started selling bumper car stickers to fund the parade. And I think it was the people in the community, your Reverend McDaniels, your Quincy Coleman's, your Sherman Matthews, many of the local churches, Reverend Benlesley comes to mind. It meant something to these people, Dr. Franklin. And when we didn't have anything as a community, this was something that symbolized that we were important and that we were vibrant and that we were somebody and that we loved America too. And our story is really America's story. And so it was something that was important to the community, and it's continued through the generations that followed.
And I think it's so great because you see, and I love this, and I say this about the other MLK Day, it is about a day of service and bringing people together from all walks of life and realizing more of what we have in common instead of like why we have to not get along or to hate each other. And so I think this is so important, and young people are out too.
Well, and that always surprises me. It's always new groups that want to join, and they want to be represented wearing their various organizations. I know you know some of the Greek letter organizations.
We do.
And we always give out those participation trophies too, because we want to show people that we do appreciate coming out. But it is people of all walks and backgrounds. I mean, if you're Jewish, I'm thinking of Carol Burrs. She was there every year.
Yes.
The late Carol Burrs. And so whether it's white or black, whether it's rich or poor, this really defines us as a community. And it's one day when we all can come together in unison. And what better way than honoring Dr. King through love and through peace?
All right, so remind people again how they can get involved and take part here.
Well, you can come to the parade. Of course, we have events all the way up to the parade.
Right, so starting like today on Saturday, you have events, and Sunday as well.
Yeah, and Thursday starts our on-site events, and so we'll be at the Community Haven Thursday, Friday at Eastdale Village Church, Saturday, annual prayer breakfast. My favorite event is not the gospel concert. I have to, because Dr. King leaned on Mahalia Jackson.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Who can forget Mahalia Jackson singing there up there in Washington? Who can forget that shot? And especially, I mean, gospel music has always been something that during slavery, that's how they got through those tough moments, is not only they prayed, they sung gospel. So again, lots going on. And Eric, as always, thank you and the Unity Group for all that you all do.
Thank you very much, Latrice.
All right, good to have you. All right, coming up next, we're talking about there is something for everyone. The Hunter Museum is holding their Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Hope and Community. Stay with us. Well, there is something for everyone. The Hunter Museum is holding their Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Hope and Community. And I am so glad to be joined by Adara Causey, the curator of education. Welcome, Adara.
Thank you so much for having me.
Why did the Hunter feel that it was important to get involved on Martin Luther King Day as a way to give back and to serve the community?
Absolutely, and we really do see ourselves as in service to our community. We're our community's museum, and for a few years we've been doing things for Dr. King's birthday, and last year we decided to go bigger. And so last year was our first year of doing Day of Hope and Community, really looking at the essence of so much of Dr. King's message, as you were speaking earlier, towards the end of his life, particularly when he was talking about the importance of everyone coming together. And the arts had always been a big part of his life and the legacy. We look at how many people have been inspired by him, visual artists, performing artists, and the like. And so we're using this day to celebrate all of the arts. So for the full day, the museum is free to everyone, as is parking, which we know is at a premium downtown.
Yes, that's
a
gift in itself.
And depending on the weather, it is warm inside, which is a nice thing too. And really, so all day people can just come and explore the galleries. And we've really focused on the afternoon for activities, in part because we want people to do the day of service. In the morning, we want to support all the great work the city's doing. And we also want groups like the Urban League to be able to come after and people to dip in and dip out and go see the gospel concert and to be a part of everything. So throughout that afternoon, we're also thinking about the children, because often it's a little bit harder for children to get as involved. So we have some hands-on activities for children, which is all going back to the way they hope to support their community. We're creating a big tree that's going to be a wish wall for everyone's wishes for America for the next year.
I love that.
Thank you. And as a special note, if someone can't make it on that day, we're going to be bringing that into the galleries so people can continue to participate throughout the year for anyone visiting. And then all afternoon, we're going to have performances and experiences led by our incredibly talented community. So at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a meditation looking at art by African-American artists and also meditating on race and identity in America. And that's led by the Sattva Project. At 2, as you were talking about other groups that have not always received the equity that is deserved, we're working with dancers from the Pop-Up Project to do a performance and dialogue about being Hispanic in the Chattanooga community today.
And we know that the Hispanic community right now is, a community that there's been a lot of focus on.
Right, and so we're really grateful that they're willing to share their voices in the space with us. And once again, responding to works of art by artists of color and talking about the way we can all join together. And then at 3 o'clock, we're ending with a beautiful tour led by one of our docents who's also a poet. So Kelly Watts-Williams is going to take us through looking at works by Black artists and responding with her own poetry on Blackness and belonging. So it's going to be a way for guests at each moment to articulate their own thoughts, to share their concerns, to ask their questions, and we really hope to inspire them, not just by the art they see, but the empowerment of using their voice and finding ways that there are so many ways, as Vanessa shared, to be involved in our community, so many ways to help, and we want to encourage that.
I just love this, Adair. We have 1 minute left, but you know, one of the things, and just kind of wrapping up, the arts, and people don't realize when we say arts, there's visual arts, there's all types of arts, and you talked about that. There's going to be spoken word, there's going to be poetry, art for kids to get involved with. But this is something also that brings people together and culture, and it strengthens community. So, you know, the Hunter Museum stepping in and, you know, doing this and serving the community is just another way to amplify the power of arts.
We hope so.
Well, again, great project, and the Hunter, you all have had some wonderful exhibits, and you always do. So again, we are encouraging people to take advantage of this. This is an opportunity, like you said, kids can get involved and come out and enjoy the Hunter. So again, there it is, the information. It is Monday, January 19th from 10 to 5, and Adara kind of went over the schedule, free admission and parking, and so family friendly, bring the kids from 1 to 4. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time for this edition of Trends on Local 3. I'd like to thank all of my guests for sharing part of their day with us. If you're interested in being a guest, contact me at trends@local3news.com. Again, trends@local3news.com. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook, Latrice Curry 3, and Instagram and Threads. I am Latrice Curry. Have a great day and a great weekend, and make it a day on, not a day off.
But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.